had another connection issue.
Yes.
Yes, so I am fluent in Spanish to a certain degree. You know how with native English speakers, they speak very fast. It's hard for, non-natives to understand. Similarly, I'm also a student in Spanish, but I can comprehend to a certain extent. Hmm.
Okay, so English. Okay, how are you taught Spanish? Are you taught grammar rules or directly conversation?
So in colleges and schools in America, we're taught only grammar. We're not taught how to speak and conversate with other Spanish speakers. But I do practice. I have friends that speak Spanish. They're native Spanish speakers. So I call them and I practice speaking in Spanish. I also learn like conversating through watching TV shows and movies, primarily in Spanish. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, but that's nice. Okay, so according to you, which is the best method to improve English also? How can we be fluent in English?
So I feel like, conversating with native speakers, with me experiencing how to speak with native Spanish speakers, I have learned that's the best method. But also listening, and what I do is when I watch a movie, let's say in Spanish, I watch a movie, and I pause the movie and I repeat the last sentence and I understand the meaning behind it, using the captions in the movie. That's how I try to learn Spanish. Even if it's a English show that I'm watching, I watch the version in Spanish to assist me, and give me like further practice on understanding. Hmm.
Oh, that's good. So you can speak four languages
Hmm.
and you are fluent in Spanish. Okay.
Yes.
So let me tell you frankly, I never studied English and English grammar in my school time. I studied only Sanskrit.
Oh wow. That's very your English is very well. Your fluency is just it's I feel like it's as good as a native speaker in my opinion. Mhm.
Thank you. Thank you. Actually, that's my passion. Let me tell you the reason. In 2001, when I completed my graduation, I went to Ahmedabad and I just faced one interviews of Jet Airways,
Mhm. Mhm.
and there were three requirements for that job. First requirement was candidate must have the first class with the graduation.
Mhm. Mhm.
Second, NCCC certificate, and third requirement was candidate must be fluent in English.
Mhm.
Okay, but that time I studied only Sanskrit. I could not understand English,
Oh, okay.
so I missed the chance to get that job. So
Mhm.
I decided to be fluent in this language. Then I started working hard on this language,
Mhm. Mhm. That's very.
and now I teach English
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I feel like
in school.
with motivation and if you're inspired to do something with enough hard work and practice, you can achieve it, in my opinion. So I do try to apply the same rules when I'm learning Spanish, but sometimes, time because of time deficiency, I don't get to practice as much as I want to. Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so I face many problems due to this lack of knowledge of English.
Hmm.
So I decided to learn and to help all people who have a problem with English.
Hmm. Hmm. That's very good.
Hmm.
That's very
That's,
good act that you're doing.
that's, that's why I'm improving my language here with a native English speaker.
Okay, okay. That's very good. I compliment you for that. Hmm.
Thank you. So what's your future plan? Can I ask you about your future plan?
Yes, no problem. So for the future, next year I will graduate medical school and eventually I will have to apply to a residency program which lasts 2 years. So sometimes in the United States you don't get matched to a residency program with the college you attended for medical school. So I will that will determine where I move to, what state or city I have to move to. And then after that, I will pursue a specialist degree to specialize in neurology. Yeah. So, until my late 20s, right now I am 23. So until my late 20s, I have to focus on my career. So that's all I'm focusing on right now. But then eventually in the future, it will depend on my timeline for sure. Hmm.
Definitely, we have to focus on our future,
Yeah.
our goals.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, so God bless you.
Okay. Thank you.
And Lord Swaminarayan is with you. Okay.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I did write a letter to Mon Swami before I started my career journey, my career pathway, and he gave me his blessing, so that's why I'm continuing to pursue the same career.
I also I met personally with the Pramukh, sorry, Mon Swami Maharaj.
Oh, okay, okay.
Mm.
That's very good.
He came to Himmatnagar and I went there with my student and I have also took a photograph with him.
Oh, okay, okay. That's very good. Yeah.
Okay, so many people don't know about the Lord Swaminarayan temple. They know about the Swaminarayan temple, but they don't know about the Lord Swaminarayan. So, can you say something about? I'm not good at explaining about that. So, can you say point 4 5 sentences about the Lord Swaminarayan?
Yes, so Lord Swaminarayan is believed to be a reincarnation of Lord Krishna, right? And the reason for his birth onto this earth, whenever in Hinduism, whenever the Lord takes birth on the earth is because they want to diminish any bad habits or any evil in the world that exists, and that's why Lord Swaminarayan he took birth. So then, in his journey, when he was 11 years old, he left his house because he saw there was a lot of suffering going on in India and a lot of bad practices, such as there's this practice called sati, right? This is when a widow they jump into the fire whenever their husbands pass away. Also, a lot of sacrifices with animals were occurring during these large yagnas. That's what they call them. So he wanted to stop these bad habits and give the society a new way to live, and that's why he took birth onto this earth, right? And he traveled all over India, and he touched so many lives, and he impacted so many people on his journey. And eventually, after traveling long distances through Himalayas, South India, he eventually came to, I think it was Gujarat, right? Right, it was Gujarat, if I'm not mistaken. And there he found it was I forgot his name. Rob. I forgot the name, but he found a ashram in Gujarat where they had their practice.
Ramanand Swami.
Yes, Ramanand Swami. Yes. So he practiced, not eating meat. Also, their sons. That's what they're called. Their sons. They also didn't. They were very detached from society. So he liked their way of living, and therefore he decided that this was the right place for him to give the Swaminarayan mantra, right? And that's where he began his what do you call it? He began the Sanstha there. That's where it was established. But throughout the years, there's several different Sansthas that developed. There are different types of Swaminarayans now, but Lord Swaminarayan is the same in all of these. He is praised the same way depending on different ideologies. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So if anybody wants to know about the Lord Swaminarayan, then they must watch the Mystic India movie.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, Mystic India movie gives a lot of insight into, how Lord Swaminarayan came to be and why, like what was his motive behind what he did. Mm-hmm. For sure.
So really nice explanation. Everybody can understand easily who was the Lord Swaminarayan and why people follow the rules of Swaminarayan.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So, like modern days, so Lord Swaminarayan, he made this scripture called Shikshapatri, right? And that scripture is very relatable to even like modern day society, and that's why a lot of Swaminarayans they follow that as a way of living, a moral way of living, to prevent them